Welcome back, everybody, to the Triathlon Preview Show, episode 46 here.
Hey, everybody.
So we're back after a long hiatus of a little no racing and a little busy schedule on my part. So we're here for a nice little big preview for Ironman Arizona racing.
Yep, and I am down in Tempe because I am racing myself on Sunday. This will be my first Ironman. So,
Crazy first Ironman, huh?
yep, first Ironman. So, I'm not even going to include myself in the preview because it's your first Ironman. So, all bets are out the window. I have no idea. I'm just not, I'm going to try to be smart and have fun, so to speak.
Let's review a race a couple weeks ago, the Island House Triathlon. We were at some top three outs and then top three in no particular order. We can start with the men. Let's see here. I had Leon Griffin, Barrett Brandon, and then Jorkic Van for my three out. You had Tim O'Donnell and Barrett Brandon, and then Jork.
Okay. So I got it. Leon Griffin made it to the island, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then how about the women?
The women, we had you had Miranda, Magali, and Leanda Cave out.
That was correct. Yeah.
Yes. And then I had Alicia Kay, Lauren Brandon, and Lauren Goss.
Yeah, and Lauren Goss actually, she had a really good 3 days down there. She did really well.
Yeah,
And,
yep.
Finished like 7th, I think.
Yeah, she did pretty decent. All right, and then the top three, in no particular order, I had Duffy, Gwen, and Holly, and you had Gwen, Holly, and Hella.
Yep, and you were right, and I think Hella, she did well, but I think 3 days of racing, kind of maybe showed that, she had that long break with the injury. So not quite able to back it up on the third day, maybe.
Yep. And then the men, you had Murray, Dye, and Joe. And I had Sanders, Sebastian, and Joe.
Joe, which
Malloy?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Okay. And who it was Dye and Murray, but who got third? Remind me.
I'm actually forgetting.
I mean, Dye did really well.
Yeah, Dye got second, and he did. Royal was third.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that because he was a good, pretty good cyclist. Like him and the Brownlees were pushing the pace at Leeds. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it was actually. I felt like it favored some of the long course people the first and second-ish days, but then I felt like there was more long course people up there. But then eventually, the short course people just dominated.
Yeah,
I mean, I felt like they were just in the end they were just above everybody else.
Yeah, and it's also like the long course people they had. I mean, so they're getting big names. I mean, a lot of them did just come off Kona. So I think that's kind of tough because they obviously did the training for Kona. So it's hard to kind of do the high octane racing 3 weeks after Kona. But I mean, Sanders did pretty well. I mean, he killed it on like the bike and stuff. I mean, the swim, but we knew that. So.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. All right, well, let's move on to the racing this weekend. Give us a little update on the weather, and obviously, I think everybody knows the Ironman Arizona course by now, but what's up?
Okay, so the weather it's trending warmer, which is good. They're calling for some rain to come into, they call this area the valley, on late Sunday night into Monday. So we'll see. But then I've been checking because I don't want it to get freezing cold, but I watched the news and they said, oh, we're expecting a little bit less. So it very well could be that it kind of clouds up during the day, but the highs are looking, it's supposed to be like 84. Hopefully that's good. The water is actually warmer this year too. They measured it at 66, which is warm for Ironman Arizona. I've heard usually it's like 60 to 63. So that'll be nice. The swim starts before the sunrise, and we swim into the sunrise. So that might be a little dicey. We do have the buildings on either side to kind of, you know, keep you maybe a little bit on course. And they're talking about putting like strobe lights or flashing headlamps on the stand-up paddle boarders or the lead kayaks, because they don't want us going all over the place, because it is going to be kind of dark. And the age group men start 5 minutes after the pro women with a, or age group men, age groupers, all of them, with a rolling start. So that could play a part. And the bike is 3 loops, so it gets a little messy out there. And it sounds like the refs are going to do what they can, but they also understand that we have to stay safe, and we're might have to ride left more often, and yada yada yada. So it'll be crowded. And then the run is 2 loops, spectator friendly. There's one quote unquote hill. I ran up it. It doesn't seem like that big of a hill to me, but I'm sure the second loop, it might seem a lot bigger than it is.
All right, let's move over to the start list. We're lucky, so we have the actual sign-in sheet. As long as everybody showed up, which they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So let's start with the men. We'll just start with a couple people that didn't show up, and I'm not sure if people already know or not, but Leon Griffin's not there. Swins, Soldenberg.
That's kind of the main players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some other kind of more random guys. That guy Cam Worf didn't show up either, the good cyclist. So we've talked about him before. But everybody else is there. I mean, like I was telling you, it was like the most percentage-wise of show-ups on the sign-in sheet I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Sanders and McMahon, TJ's there, Pete Jacobs, which this is the first year he is not AQ, right? Is that correct, or am I 1 year ahead?
It might be 1 year ahead. I think he can do this race and automatically qualify for 2017.
Okay.
But he didn't race Kona because he got sick during his build-up, and then he decided to do this. He did pretty well in Cairns. Like, he's been showing a little bit more promise. So we'll just have to see what the day brings with him. You kind of never know with him. And TJ's coming back from his knee surgery. It'll be interesting to see what Lionel does, because didn't he say in a blog or something that he hasn't done a lot of long workouts all year? So
yeah, and then Matt Charbot's racing.
Yeah, I saw him today. He looks fit and ready to go. And then, like you and I were talking about, number 13, Philip Graves is a British guy, really good cyclist, good swimmer. Has had some trouble on the run, but expect to see him up front, kind of powering away. Like, this is his. I mean, he did well on the Wales course. He was second there, but this is like a flat power course, and that guy has got big leg muscles, so he'll be pushing the pace out front.
Yeah, that's I mean, obviously Lionel and Brent McMahon, I would say, are probably the two quote unquote favorites for the race, but that doesn't mean everything. I guess Brent has been sub 9 every race except Kona.
Sub 8.
Sub 8.
Hopefully he's been sub 9.
Yeah, sub 8 every race except for Kona, which is pretty interesting.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And then Lionel is obviously the defending champion, right?
Yep. He won last year. And it was his weather last year, rainy, cold. So depends on kind of how the weather takes a turn. And I mean, last race of the season for a lot of people, so you don't know where their heads and kind of, are they nursing anything? Are they just trying to get through this? Or have they really been focusing on it? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Someone else that'll be kind of out in front is Jordan Braden. He trains with the Soto squad and good swimmer and will push it on the bike. And we'll just have to see if he hangs on the run. He kind of blew up in Ironman Taiwan, but it was pretty hot there. So we'll have to see kind of where that goes. You can probably bet on number 30, Raphael, being first out of the water. Although he's not the fastest swimmer in triathlon, it's that New Zealand gal who beat everybody at the Oklahoma race.
Who?
Oh, you've heard that. The New Zealand gal who had a faster swim time than all the pro men and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
outsplit Jody Swallow. I was just trying to drop a little triathlon glossip. The slow tits sleuths are on it.
Yeah, blew
Um,
right over my head right there. That shows how up to date I am.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, not spending a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, like it always comes down to the run. I was walking by and Lionel Sanders was at the press conference and was saying like he'll be behind out of the water. He's going to go as hard as he can on the bike and see how long he can hold on the run. So, I guess he's not afraid to kind of put it out there and use his weapon, the bike, to get to the front, and hopefully he stays there or he blows up. So there you go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much fitness he's gained since Kona, because basically, I mean, Kona he knew it was going to be a disaster for him, and it was basically. So we'll see where he's coming back from that.
The question is like, could it have been less of a disaster if he kind of like paced himself a little bit better on the bike? Like, I mean, maybe he had done the specific training as far as, but he's got a lot of miles under his belt. Like, should be able to manage that a little bit better, you
Yeah,
know?
his 70.3, workload is probably enough for an Ironman. You're right. If he paces right and holds himself, very true. So we
Which is
will see.
always tougher to make that gamble in the heat in Kona. It goes badly more often than not. So if he can gamble here, he might hold on better just because it's just not as extreme.
Yes,
So,
for sure.
but if the cloud cover comes in and it's 84 degrees, it might get a teeny bit more humid than usual. So we'll just have to wait and see.
All
All
right,
right.
moving over to the women's. The only person, Michelle Vesey's not on the list because she's in Cozumel.
Yep.
That's really the only big name. Basically, all the women are showing up these days, anyways.
Yeah. So, I mean, right off the top, like Meredith was 8:44, I think, last year here. So, and she's won it multiple times. I think she's done this race every single time it's been run. Even, it used to be run in April, now November. So she knows this course. She's got good memories on this course and, coming back from injury. So we'll just have to kind of see where she is. She'll definitely be out in front. That's how she races. So just have to see what she has on the day. And Amanda Stevens I think she was 8:52 last year. So she comes up with that. That's going
And
to be
she's
pretty.
coming off that DNF at Long Course Worlds in Oklahoma.
Yeah, had some sort of allergic reaction. So she'll be near the front. I saw Leanna Cave tweet today something about she might be getting a cold. I don't know what that's about. Then other people, I think, are like Angela Nath is going to be coming from behind.
Yeah, but this will be her first Ironman back since taking off time for an injury, and she's done one or two 70.3s.
I think she did one. She won Cabo. I think that was it. Um, so, I mean, she's so strong on the bike. We'll just have to see where her long course fitness is. I can't imagine that she's coming in underprepared, but coming back from injury, maybe it takes a little bit of time to build up to that really good fitness that she had at Texas. But no doubt she will be motoring on the bike no matter what.
Then we have Kelly Williamson racing.
Yeah, and she'll be coming from behind on the run. So if people play their cards wrong, she will catch them. Yvonne Van Leerken, she DNF'd at Kona, and then I believe won Challenge Aruba. She's racing. You and I were talking about Jen Annett. I think she's a bit of a dark horse, super strong on the bike, and won that Challenge Penticton race, beating Liz Lyles. I mean, this is a stacked field. Haley Chura, she's going to be out in front on the swim. Ruth Brennan Morey and Melindy Elmore. You remember Melindy Elmore? She's a really good runner. This is her first Ironman. Ruth Brennan Morey is a really good runner and cyclist. Let's see, Danielle Mack just won Ironman Taiwan.
Mackenzie Madison's come back from a time off, I think, too.
Yeah, I mean, she's been racing a little bit, but she's done well here. I think I saw a post. I actually chatted with her today. I mean, she's been 7th here and then 6th the past 2 years. And she was talking about how, like, she comes in every year and it's like a super stacked field. And she's like, and, she just said shit just goes wrong for people and you just keep plugging away. And so, I mean, that is what it's about. Just, it's the last race of the year, and some people are fried and some people are good, and some people, who knows. So
Yeah, should be an interesting day from the men and women's side. I feel like the women's field is stacked. I mean, even compared to the men, I feel like there's like basically 2 men that are going to be fighting for the win. But the women, I mean, I can count maybe 5, possibly 6 women that I think would be in the running for the win, depending on how Kessler does. Obviously, Kessler has owned this race in the past.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think that the women who have potential to go sub 8 are the ones that can win, because usually it takes a sub 8. I'm sorry, sub 9. Usually it takes a sub 9 to win here. So, Kessler, Stevens, Leanna Kay's won here and has gone sub 8. Just don't know where she's at. Angela Nath went sub 8 in Texas, and that's like a hard sub 9 because of, I keep saying sub 8. That's like a hard sub 9 because it's so freaking hot. Kelly's been under 9.
Haley will be at the front from the beginning, so she's not going to get them too far away.
No, and she's someone who, she bikes really well, and she's a solid runner, and you get her up front and she's going to fight for it. I mean, she won that race in Brazil, I think. It was super hot, and she went like 9:06 or something like that. So expect her to be kind of chipping away at it and staying up front. It's just, people, you're just going to have different dynamics, because you're going to have people who are going to come through on the bike like Van Leerken and Nath, and then people who are going to start to come through at the end of the bike, like Ruth Brennan Morey. Lindy Elmore rides pretty well. Jan Annett is going to be coming up. So there'll be people you haven't heard about, and then towards the end of the bike, they're gonna start coming through, and it's per usual. It's going to come down to the run. I mean, Danielle Mack's another one who's going to come. She'll come through towards the end of the bike and onto the run in this field. So we'll just have to see. I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just live tweet for us if you can.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know. I don't want to take my phone on there. I'd have to have a life-proof case or something, though, because you get all gross with Gatorade and gels. So, yeah.
All right.
It's hard to pick. Are we going to do picks?
You want to do picks for the men and not the women then, since you're racing?
You know what? We can do picks for the women, even though I'm racing, because this is my first Ironman. So, we're good.
Okay, let's start with the women then, right? Since we just talked about them.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Angela Nath, Yvonne Van Leerken, and Meredith Kessler. I think she'll be on the podium.
Okay, I'm going with Kessler, Nath, and Danielle Mack.
Okay, that's a good pick. All right, men. I'm going to go with Lionel, and my dark horse is Joe Gambles. He hasn't executed a really great Ironman, and I think it's time.
I am going with. I'm gonna go with Pete Jacobs.
To
And
win?
to win, Sanders for
Ooh,
second and McMahon for third.
all right. Pete is going to have to, well, he's got a good swim. He's going to have to hold on the bike and then have a really good run. I mean, he's run like low 240s, so you know he can run. It's just whether he will.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have confidence in his first two abilities, and then it just depends if he has the run, which he has not had recently. Whatever, dark horse. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think Philip Graves will be up there. I think he might fade a little bit more in this kind of stronger run field.
We will see.
Yep. All right. Well, I will report on the flip side. We'll do a Thanksgiving week report on how my first Ironman was and break down Ironman Cozumel.
Sounds good. We'll talk to everybody next week.
All right. Thanks, everyone.